Welcome to Granny Rocks Our World, whose initials spell GROW. On this weekly live stream, Granny Beth Green is going to bring a fresh perspective to our challenges, our personal ones as well as our collective ones. On GROW, every Wednesday at 6:30 Pacific Time, she'll address a topic geared to building a better world, and then our viewers' questions will be answered by our special guest, the hilarious Madam Mazurka, Beth with a scarf. A little later, we'll tell you how you can send in your questions too. For those who don't know Beth, she's an intuitively guided counselor, workshop leader, speaker, author of 6 books, 4 CDs of music, many blogs and videos on a variety of topics, an improvisational pianist, commentator, and founder of theinnerrevolution.org. Boy, that's a mouthful.
Sure is.
Tonight, Beth will be addressing the topic of peace on earth, goodwill toward others. How do we get from here to there? Granny?
Well, first of all, I want to say hi to the people who have said hi. People are coming in. Oh, welcome, welcome. Okay, hi, Chris. Hello, Elizabeth. Hi, Erica. Elizabeth says, hi, sweet baby James. Erica says, hi, Granny and James. Hi, Navano. And there we go so far. Well, welcome to all of you who've said hello and all of you who are watching. You know, as you were reading the list of my accomplishments, and there are so many more, I thought that could be me. I'm not that old. Anyway, moving right along to the serious matter today. Okay, so the question that I said is, you know, this is Christmas, right? So it's supposed to be peace on earth. And oh, wait a minute, there's more comments. Just a second. Hello, Tracy. Hello, Amy. Hello, Richard. Hello, Anne. Hello, Kim. Oh my God, look at all these wonderful people. Okay, so, you know, this is supposed to be peace on earth, goodwill towards men, but, you know, we don't mean men, we mean people, so we had to change it to people. And, you know, how do we do that? That's the question. So, you know, a lot of people these days are putting out comments on Facebook and so on that are, you know, that are very nice, and they talk about how we can make the world better just by being kind to somebody or just doing one thing or that kind of thing. And I appreciate those things. I think they're wonderful. But on the other hand, it's a little bit not enough. Well, for example, I'm going to give you an example. Supposing we were in the middle of a hurricane. I mean, like a bad one of these global warming kinds of hurricanes. So if we are nice to each other, we are kind, it's going, you know, it's going to be better, right, than if we're wrong. There's no question about it. We're going to cuddle up. We're freezing, but we'll share. Hi, Merry Chris. We'll share the few crumbs we have left because we've been in this hurricane building for 5 days and we're out of food. You know, and I mean, and we're going to have a much more pleasant experience, but we aren't stopping the hurricane. So okay, so hi, REA. So yes, it is all true. James, are you watching?
Yes,
okay,
hi, Helen. Hi, Christine.
And hi, Christine. Love it. Love to have you here. So, okay, so with all of this that's going on, we have to find a way to actually stop the hurricane, or if not to stop it, to make it less bad than in a global warming situation where all the storms are getting worse. So the fact of the matter is, we can make the worst thing better through our attitude, but we can't make the worst thing good through our attitude. And that means we're going to have to change the reality that we're dealing with. Boo! Yes. Hi,
here.
Christine.
Here.
Yes. I don't know if I said hi to you before, but if I didn't, I'm saying it now. Yes. Okay. Did you say here? You agree. Okay. So now let's take a look at, all right, so peace on earth, goodwill toward others. That's something that maybe we can manage to do to a degree, but not when we're in the middle of a hurricane. We can't make that hurricane go away just by being nice to each other. Now, how can we? Now let's take a look at this issue of attitude and reality a little bit deeper. Supposing you had everything, all things being equal, you had three people. They all were basically in the same state of health. This had the same brain chemistry and so on. One of them hasn't eaten for a week or is living on breadcrumbs and white breadcrumbs. And the next person is stuffed because they're pigging out. And then the third person has eaten just enough and has eaten healthy food. Now, who do you think is going to feel more peaceful and have more goodwill towards others? I don't know about you, but I
Well,
get
the one in the middle, right?
Yeah, right. The one who's stuffed, right?
No, the one who's been eating good food,
Yeah, right.
just enough.
Exactly. The one in the middle, I would think so. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I'm really hungry, I get a little bit grouchy, don't you? I mean, it gets to the point that all you can do is think about food. You're going to be thinking about goodwill. You're going to be saying, oh, how was your dinner date, darling? Did you have a good time? Grumble, grumble, bumble, you know what I'm saying? And so naturally, the person who's starving is going to be really focused on I'm starving, or by that time they're so weak they're just lying around just you know what I mean, and they really can't give a darn about how you did on your dinner date or how the dance went or your recital or your baseball game went, right? And the other one who's been pigging out, not that we ever do this, but the one who's been pigging out, stuffing themselves, well, they're going to be indigestion, trying to find the Tums. I don't even know if Tums exist anymore, but they're, okay, they do. So anyway, so that person isn't going to be that happy either. So this goes to show you that the reality of the externals, not only can't you change reality just with your attitude, but your attitude is impacted by reality. Oh my God. Did I say that? That's amazing. You're not supposed to say that. I mean, our attitude is supposed to be everything, right? I mean, it's like we don't even have reality. We impact reality by our thoughts and by our positivity. So you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that our attitude doesn't impact things, but we need to have our needs met in order to really get into peace on earth, goodwill towards others. I mean, let's look at reality. Let's look at, a dog. If you keep a dog hungry and lonely and miserable, it's going to more likely be vicious and angry.
Yep.
Don't you think?
Yeah,
unless that dog has been watching videos on positive thinking. And then that dog is going to think its way through its hunger, its cold, its loneliness, and its sore foot and everything else. So what am I trying to say? So I'm saying what we have to do is look at, oh, and by the way, I really want you to notice that the one who's stuffing himself isn't feeling too good either. So it isn't just those of us who are deprived of what we need. It's those of us who have too many of what we don't need also aren't going to be well. So that means that if we're really going to do something with this Christmas spirit this year and forever, then we really need to start looking at what do people need and how do we get those things to people. I don't hear.
Carol say hello also.
Oh, did they say hello? Hello. Yeah. Thank you so much. So happy to see you. So one thing is obvious. Okay, Karen says Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So true. You can't even get to this until you get the fundamentals, and that is so crucial, Karen. So what are our fundamental needs? All right, let's start with the obvious. Okay, we all need healthy food. I mean healthy food. Food that nurtures our bodies. You can only eat so much whipped cream without barfing, right? Some of us have been trying to live on a diet of whipped cream forever, but maybe some of us have figured out that that really isn't what makes us feel well. So we need food, we need shelter, we need nature. I mean, there's more and more evidence that people need nature in order to be well, right? You can't just live in a building all the time. We need exercise. Yeah. Now, by exercise, I don't mean bending over but you're picking vegetables in the field, bending over all the time. Now,
Yeah.
those people are getting a lot of exercise, aren't they? But are they getting the right kind of exercise?
Back-breaking exercise.
Back-breaking? No, they need healthy exercise. And exercise, and we talk about all this stuff. We're still also looking at the fact that we don't want to do too much, because when we do too much exercise, and I'm going to get to what that's all about in a minute, then we're straining our bodies, we crack our back, we wear ourselves out. So, right? So we need things like that. Oh, very funny. Karen says whipped cream works for her. Lots of laughs. Yes, haha. So 'tis the season to look at the folly of what we're eating, isn't it? Anyway,
Deck the halls
guys,
of lots of folly.
there we go. And Irene is here. Well, welcome, Irene. So, looking at all of this, so we have free food, shelter, good exercise. We need meaningful work, a sense of purpose. We need, and so that means no, people who are living off the fat of the land don't feel well either, because they don't have any value in themselves. They don't. So these kinds of things, and we need meaningful, deep relationships. Do you know? I just read not long ago. See, what I love about doing this live is I can watch the news up to the last minute and get neurotic up to the last second. I guess like, oh my God, what are they doing now? Anyway, there is some good news lately, by the way. It seems like there are some traces of sanity coming, but we don't want to exaggerate, but we have a few. But anyway, they were talking about loneliness, and that people reach the heights and peaks of loneliness when they're in their late 20s, when they're in their mid 50s, and when they're like in their late 80s. But what struck them was that 76%, now this is talking to Americans, right? 76% of the people experience loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
76% of our people experience loneliness. Mm. I mean, obviously, it's not just people in solitary confinement, because 76% of us aren't in solitary confinement. We're only in solitary confinement in our head. So let's see. I'm just checking, because I see people are chatting, but they're chatting with each other, so they don't need a response from me. Chat away, everybody. So when we look at this, we know that our social needs are not being met either, because we're not being real, we're not sharing with others. So there's a lot of things that we do not have in our world, even though, please, just leave this, okay? I'm sorry, guys, but I have to get my chat back. And, okay, thank you. That's the one. Sweet baby James has to work on his, and he was helping mine. So he helped him in the wrong direction. Anyway, so when we look at that, we realize that there's fundamental needs that are not being met. And what they are not measuring is the stress. I mean, we have way too much stress, each one of us. So why is this? Why is this that we are the richest country in the world and our fundamental needs are not being met? We're either overdoing things or we're underdoing things. We have people who haven't got sufficient health care. There are people who are going to the doctor too much. So I want to say something about the overdoing. I believe that we overdo when we don't feel satisfied. It's like if you eat a really good meal that's got whatever it is works for your body, whatever diet of the moment you're on, you will feel satisfied, and you're not going to have the same crazy urge to afterwards. I mean, that's just a fact. That's the way it is. You eat protein, you don't need as much sugar, and so on. So what we see in our world is that we have too much of what we don't need and not enough of what we do need. For example, we have too much shopping at this time of year, don't we? Too much stress about what to buy, people. Too much emphasis on how we look. Too much emphasis on being successful. Too much emphasis on this and that and the other that makes us stressful lives. Our lives are so stressful. Too much emphasis on success. Too much emphasis on winning. Too much emphasis on competition. We're not getting our needs met, guys. And so, do we have peace on earth, goodwill towards others? I don't think so. Now, somebody, I sure I read somewhere recently that there was some discussion about giving a large foreign aid package to Central America to help stop the migrants from coming here. Oh my God. Now, I'm not even saying that this plan is good, but they're actually thinking about giving people what they need so they don't migrate here. I mean, what a concept, right? Why don't we make sure that people get what they need in their homes? It's just like you see in the rural areas or in certain cities. People often have to leave home because there were no economic opportunities there, but they would rather not do that. So there's a little bit of common sense that says maybe if the people had safe lives and had enough food and I want to come back to the feeling of safety because that is so crucial. Maybe if people had those things, they wouldn't be immigrating, right? So, and now we've actually passed a bill about prison reform. Now the House has to pass it. So what are we seeing is that give prisoners the chance for a life, and there's less likelihood that they'll be back in prison. Give people what they need, give us what we need, and then we are way less likely to commit crime. Now, I want to take a look at that. You can say, well, what about these millionaires who are ripping off the poor? Isn't that crime? You bet that's crime. You bet that's crime. You know, we have people who are born with $500 million and now they've got it up to $5 billion. It's like, please, puke. You know, how many toilets can you piss in at the same time? And do they really need to be made of gold and diamonds? You know, so anyway, why is it that people who have so much have to have more? Why is it that these corporate billionaires, you know, there's so much about this tax law that we passed that where people like us are not going to get that much, but the billionaires are going to have more and the big corporations are going to have more. So why do they need it? Why are they asking for it? Because they are not getting what they need either. What they are getting is a culture that emphasizes competition and winning. They have to win. They feel they have to win. They just have to win. They just have to win. They have to get more and more and more and more and more power. It's like we're shooting up power. We're shooting up dollar bills. You know what I mean? We're snorting illusions. And that's what we're looking at in this world. And so people who have too much already are running after, are still stealing. It isn't just the poor that steal, is it? So if we want to have a world where people are actually exuding goodwill and they are feeling peaceful and they're being kind to one another, we have to make sure that people are getting what we need, what they need, what our societies, what our world needs. And it needs everybody. So we can't turn a deaf eye. We can't turn a deaf eye
or a blind ear.
Or a blind ear to the pain of our world, because it will come back and bite us in the ass, one way or the other. One way or the other. Well, we better take a break because Madam Mazurka is here and we have a question. And we only have one question tonight. If you want Madam Mazurka to answer your questions, you have to send them to her. Go to the post and click on Ask Madam Mazurka your question, and then make sure you put your question in, and I will answer your questions in the order I get them. But if we don't, so one question is enough because I really would like to finish my commentary after Madam Mazurka takes the question. Hello, darlings. I'm here. My fans are here. You better send more questions.
Hello, Madam N.
But I'm like, oh, that's the questioner thing. Hello, Madam N.
Oh, this is from Anonymous. This one says, hi, Big M.
Oh, big. I'm so big.
Thank you for taking time to answer questions. I have been disabled for the past 5 years. I sustained a traumatic brain injury in a car accident. Recently, I've been torn between feeling that I need to go back to work and that I should continue to be on disability. I think I might be able to work, but I'm nervous about being able to keep up. I used to work in corporate in human resources.
Well, darling, this is for a human, very painful to have a traumatic brain injury. It's painful to have any kind of traumatic injury, but when the brain is disabled, it can feel like you're not even yourself anymore. I mean, it's hard enough you lose a paw, right? And then you don't feel like yourself because you're a southpaw and you're used to using it. But what I'm saying is, but then your brain is damaged. That's really difficult because who are you when you're not thinking the same way or feeling the same way or able to do the same things and mentally. So this is very hard. So my compassion goes out to you. So, but your question is, should you go back to work? And you think you might be able to. So I think you don't think that you're able to, because if you thought you were able to, you would have done it already. But what I think you should be doing, darling, is you should be trying yourself out in different things. It doesn't have to be work. It can be go volunteer at the local library or whatever you can do. That's even remotely similar to what you were doing before.
Human resources, helping people.
Yeah, you're used to helping people. You could be helping go to a place where you could volunteer in the hospital. I mean, anything you could do. And test the water. Don't just leap in. People, you're feeling guilty. Why else would you want to go to work if you didn't have to? That wouldn't work if she didn't have to, but I'm not going to tell anybody that because she doesn't want anyone to know that. Because she wants her clients to think that she would do her work. She's a very good counselor. She would do it for free, but of course she's not going to do it for free every day. Anyway, enough about that. So what I'm saying is, you're managing on the disability. You should go out and you should test the waters, darling, and not let this impulse. You see, you're falling into the very category that is talking about. That something is driving you to think that you're not good enough just being on disability, and find out. And then if you find out you're okay, and give yourself a more challenge and a greater challenge. And maybe you'll discover that what your new life is really about is volunteering and helping other people. This is one example. I mean, you could be volunteering for Greenpeace and hanging over the boats, stopping the oil ships or whatever. I'm not telling you what you should do. So anyway, then you increase, and then you'll find out that it's time for you to go back to work, or it's time for you to create some other kind of life. But don't let the guilt drive you to do the wrong thing. Oh no, I finished the question. It's over. It's over. I think I have to go.
Oh, I reckon you do. It's time to let Granny come back.
Well. Hi, everybody. I'm back. So please send your questions to Madam Mazurka and just, go to the post and say, click and do your questions. So, honey, could you, yes, okay. So I want to see, okay, nobody else has a message for me over there. That's good. You're in luck. So anyway, I would like to close this is Christmas. It isn't Christmas, but it's going to be Christmas before our next show. And I hope that you come back next week and that you join me and that you give me a gift. The gift is share the show with all your friends and even your enemies, especially your enemies. Get them riled up and like the show and do all of that stuff and spread the word about this. And I'm going to continue talking about what we need and what we really need. But I also would like to ask myself right now, what can I give you that you might really need tonight that will help you to feel more peaceful and to have more goodwill towards others? What do you think of that? Yeah. So we have some, thank you, Madam Mazurka, for being so gracious for leaving. And by the way, Madam Mazurka is a dead Transylvanian psychic, in case you were wondering who she was. So I'm going to send out my psychic feelers, and I am feeling a lot of fear tonight. One reason is Sweet Baby James is going to do a gig. As soon as we get done, he's running out the door. So he won't join us on Granny's Kitchen. So he's feeling some fear, but I also feel fear, a lot of fear in our world. And everyone is afraid of losing whatever safety and security they have. Now, we don't organize our world around providing safety and security for people. We organize around our world around competition. Now, this is not a new thought. I've been talking about this forever, and I'm going to be talking more about in depth as we go forward. But what I want to talk about tonight is what we need is a promise from someone, from ourselves particularly, that we are going to create a better world. Because if we continue the way we are going, every one of us is going to have stress-related illnesses. Our children are going to have a world with less resources because we're destroying our planet. And we have fewer and fewer emotional resources to help all the other traumatized people who are being traumatized by the other things that other traumatized people are doing. Some traumatized person comes out and rapes you, right? And yeah, I mean, we have compassion for them, but now you're yet another traumatized person. And how many, who's going to heal the healers? Who's going to help those of us who've been traumatized, but other traumatized people? The truth is we're all traumatized. So what we need is we need to make, I know it's not New Year's resolution week yet. That's next week, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But what we can start thinking about here at Christmas is, are we serious? Do we really want peace? And if so, we have to stop believing that just being nice or having a positive attitude is going to create the energy of peace on this planet. We need real, substantial change and real safety for people. More and more people talk about income for everyone to deal with the robots are coming. The robots are coming. Why not? Why aren't we thinking about how to reduce our workload, increase our the good things in life, our culture, sports, whatever it is that we love doing, opportunity to crochet, do whatever we want to explore. Why aren't we talking about how are we going to co-create the world that we want to have and that we want to live in, and to guarantee ourselves that we are not going to let another year go by without fighting for what we really need, which is a real sense of love and safety, not only for ourselves, but for everyone. Because if we don't all have it, none of us will have it, because we all live in the same world. We share a common energy field. We share a common environment. We share common experiences. There's no way we can either build walls or we can build well-being. Are we going to invest in incarcerating people, or are we going to invest in nurturing people? Are we going to invest in ourselves? Think about what you need for Christmas, what you need on the inside to be happier, to be more relaxed, to be able to actually carry that peace in your heart and that goodwill towards everyone. What is it that you need? Ask yourself that question. I know what I need. I need time. I need relaxation. I need love. And I need you. I need to know that you're out there too, and that you are fighting the good fight for a better world, a real better world, and that you're not just accepting the platitudes that we can share with each other about, oh, another day I made a gratitude. Believe me, I find all those things are valuable. I'm not putting them down. They're just not enough. I want to know you're there. Please like this show. Please share this show. Please come back. come to Granny's Kitchen at 7:15. There are instructions on how to get there on the post, where we have a video conference and we can talk to each other. Give me the gift of showing me that you are here, and I will give you the gift of showing you that I am here for you. Have good holidays, thoughtful and conscious holidays.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Yeah, bless you all.
And see you next time, next week.
See you then.
Bye-bye.